Carnarvon. It's a trip that I've been meaning to do for a while now. With quite a bit to see and do along the way, it should be a fantastic journey. But unfortunately, the entire eastern side of Australia is currently being affected by wild weather caused by La Nina. Will we get the journey we hoped for, or will it all be cut short by the weather? Let's get four wheels on the road and find out. Well, good morning. Unfortunately for us and for you, in terms of what you'll be able to see, the weather news from up here is not great. As when I was in Boolimba, it said a few days of rain, and it still says the same out here. I was hoping that possibly we could get out here and outrun the rain, but we've barely had any sun. We only had about an hour and a half yesterday afternoon, and luckily we got out to see the rock hole yesterday and do a bit of filming there, which was great. It was great for me to go out and check out the place, but it's going to be overcast and raining for most of the day. So we'll probably have a situation, according to BOM, like what we did yesterday afternoon, where the sun will stick its head out for about an hour and a half. So I'll have to be poised and ready to go, and we'll head up to the gorge this afternoon. I think it's about 1 o'clock. It's supposed to be a little bit of sun. So I think what we're going to do for most of the day today is just chill out, have a feed. I think I'll just watch some telly and listen to the rain on the tent and relax for most of the day. All right, well, we're going to make some breakfast and we'll see you in a bit. Well, as you can see behind me, the sun is out for the first time today, thank God. So we packed up from the van park as quick as we could and came straight up here. We're going to go for one of the walks now and see how far we can get before the weather closes in. So I think it's time we get on the road. Before we head off on the trails, we're going to quickly stick our heads into the information centre here and see what we can find out about the walks and about the area. The information centre here has got plenty of info on all of the walks and everything about the area as well. There's even a couple of little interactive things where you can listen to some stories about the area as well. You can also see in front of me here, there's this really cool map which gives you an idea of where the walks go and where all of the sites are along the way as well, which is really cool. You'll see in the information zone here as well that there's a ton of fossils that are here. You've also got preserved bones and also skins of snakes that reside in the area as well. So it's a really interesting place to come and check out. The information centre here isn't always manned, but there's plenty of little brochures that you can get from the front counter as well, letting you know about the place. So you've got a ton of info on hand whenever you need it. If you're anything like me and don't do much in the way of preparation before you visit an area, there's a ton of information on hand here at the Gorge, including detailed maps, including the elevations, which is really handy, and all of the safety considerations that you should take on board before you set off on your journey as well, which is really helpful. There's also a ton of signage and detailed information about the area itself here and how the area was formed, and the wildlife that you could potentially see when you're out on your walks as well. It's really great that there's all of this information available to you, and it's great to keep informed about these areas that you're visiting. All right, well, I think it's time that we head off on our walk now, so let's get going. The entry here gives you a great idea of what's to come. You've got this fantastic crossing of the creek with all these big boulders that have been placed here, and it's a beautiful looking creek. And I believe you cross the creek a few times as you go along your journey as well, so looks like it's a sign of good things to come for the walk. There's a few steps like this at the beginning of the route, but I guess the good thing is at the end you can go down them, which is a handy thing.
One thing I will say is just be aware there are a few hills and a few steps on the journey in total. So while it's not just the 6 kilometres or whatever it is return to the first little section, you've got a lot of steps on that journey. So it'll take it out of you, most definitely. Even from the beginning of the walk, you get these great views of the gorge either side of you, just letting you know that you're walking up into the gorge and that you're going to be enclosed on all sides. Pretty interesting. Walk up top to Boolimba Bluff is 2.2 kilometres one way, so it's 4.4 all up. There's a hell of a lot of steps and there's a lot of climbing involved, but the views that you see up top are just fantastic. Really interesting. Once you get closer and closer to Moss Garden, you can actually see a change in the forest around you. It suddenly goes from a little bit sort of open to lots of tall gum trees and lots of tall palm trees, which is really quite interesting, and lots of little ferns as well, so it almost becomes a little bit rainforesty. There's a little kind of creek that's across the middle of the path as well that you go along. It's a beautiful walk. Been loving it so far.